October 1st, 2025. White House commences shutdown plans as Democrats block funding. Shutdown begins amid blame and acrimony. Trump has warned that he'll fire federal employees. Democrat lawmakers melt down after Trump posts meme video of Hakeem Jeffries in sombrero. Trump posts photo of Trump 2028 hats with congressional leadership. Trump and Hegseth gathered U.S. military leaders for an embarrassing rant. Trump's speech to the generals was crazy and terrifying. Trump defends the use of the U.S. military against the enemy within. Musk unveils Grokpedia plans to counter Wikipedia's manipulation of truth controlled by leftists. Don Lemon says broken white men are the real issue behind mass violence in the United States. Sinister connection between Michigan shooter's tattoos and his hatred of Mormons after his girlfriend dumped him. MAGA hat-wearing teen shoots himself in the leg in fake kidnapping scheme. Ex-NATO boss calls to sacrifice health and education to fund Ukraine. Senate showdown. Yelling match breaks out in Senate hearing with former Biden official over Two-Spirit safe spaces. LA County supervisors criticize their own report on January fire mistakes, calling it inadequate. College band announcer breaks silence after he was slammed for body-shaming Alabama State's halftime dancers. Lionel Richie says Michael Jackson was nicknamed Smelly over poor hygiene. Scientists turn human skin cells into functional eggs. October 2nd, 2025. Democrats voted for a shutdown. Now they have to find a way out. White House pushes out punishment. Trump admin urges political auto-replies from Gov workers. The revolting lie at the heart of the shutdown. White House to begin firing federal workers within a day or two. Trump administration freezes $18 billion in infrastructure funding to New York. Trump says snubbing him for Nobel would insult U.S. Israeli Navy intercepts 13 vessels in global Samud flotilla, 30 still sailing to Gaza. U.S. offers security guarantees to Qatar after Israel strikes, says White House. FBI cuts ties with Anti-Defamation League amid conservative backlash. Hegseth attack on Beardos targets troops on race and religion, military sources say. A poll finds a growing agreement that political violence may be necessary to right the country. Elon Musk just became the first person ever worth $500 billion. Netflix hit with subscription cancellations after Elon Musk urges boycott over trans-friendly LGBTQ+ kids show. Jane Goodall, who transformed understanding of humankind by studying chimpanzees, dies at 91. Munich Oktoberfest closed due to explosion and bomb threat. Kim Jong-un orders North Koreans to check women for unsocialist breast implants. AT&T FirstNet says data from day when pipe bomb was placed outside DNC is corrupted. But that's not all. Nicolas Cage headlines horror film about Jesus' childhood in first trailer for The Carpenter's Son. October 3rd, 2025. Battered federal workers brace for weeks without pay. Federal agencies blaming Democrats for shutdown in potentially illegal move. Portland's war zone is like Burning Man for the terminally online. Apple pulls ICE tracking app from store following DOJ request. Newsom threatens funding cuts to colleges that sign Trump deal. MAGA's new Charlie Kirk caught asking for thousands in Sting. Why Trump and Republicans keep sharing videos of Democrats in sombreros. The Trump administration is already falling into the Bad Bunny trap. A gonzo plan to beat China with giant robot boats. Fake actor deepens anxiety over AI in Hollywood. Sean Diddy Combs asked judge for mercy ahead of sentencing. I was dead wrong. Fans in shock as climbing influencer dies during live stream after horror fall from Yosemite's infamous El Capitan. Woman arrested for wrecking Little Caesars Pizza over $1 surcharge for sauce. England, 2 killed, at least 4 injured in UK synagogue attack on Judaism's holiest holiday. Israeli Navy intercepts boats attempting to break Gaza blockade and arrests activists. Putin accuses Europe of gender terrorism. Indonesia races to determine extent of radioactive contamination at industrial zone. October 4th, 2025. Trump says Hamas ready for peace after ceasefire response. Urges Israel to immediately stop bombing Gaza. Houthis bury hundreds of unidentified bodies across 3 provinces. Officially terminated. FBI severs all ties with SPLC. Patel slams disgraceful record. FBI weighing a perp walk for Comey and suspended an agent for refusing to. Sean Diddy Combs sentenced to more than 4 years in prison for using prostitutes in freak-offs. How Democrats learn to stop worrying and shut it all down. Republicans call for Democratic AG candidate to drop out after threatening texts. DHS includes white supremacist meme in video promoting deportation blitz. Illegal alien with 30-year rap sheet ran Iowa school district. Syrian terrorist Jihad was only free to attack synagogue because British authorities let him post bail on assault charges. No, Charlie Kirk's murder is nothing like the death of the left's favorite fentanyl addict. The Treasury Department is considering a Trump $1 coin. Is that legal? Sam Bankman-Fried and the multi-billion-dollar drama over FTX's ruins. Putin claims he stayed at Tony Blair's house and they drank coffee in their pajamas. Kiss reality goodbye. AI-generated social media has arrived. Harvard hires drag queen Lahore Vagistan to teach Rue politics. Taylor Swift's new album is a masterpiece of cringe. October 5th, 2025. Trump's paper tiger jab at Russia echoes Mao's propaganda against the U.S. Activists allege Greta Thunberg mistreated as flotilla detainees arrive in Turkey. Judge temporarily blocks Trump's attempt to deploy Oregon National Guard to Portland. DHS agents rammed by vehicles outside Chicago, boxed in by 10 cars, attacker with semi-automatic weapon. Fired defensive shots. Miller says domestic terrorism and seditious insurrection. Please enjoy this video of an ICE agent shooting pepper spray up an inflatable Antifa frog's air vent. DHS Secretary Kristi Noem barred from using bathroom at municipal building in Illinois. The United Police State of America has arrived. The Supreme Court just took legal status from 300,000 Venezuelans. ADL split marks FBI shift away from targeting right-wing violence, scholars say. Kash Patel blasts MSNBC as an ass-clown factory of disinformation as FBI weighs perp-walking predecessor. Georgian opera singer charged with coup attempt. Poison ivy. Harvard law professor fired pellet gun outside synagogue on eve of Yom Kippur, claiming he was hunting rats. Former NFL player Mark Sanchez arrested at hospital after being injured in Indianapolis stabbing incident. Meghan Markle makes Paris Fashion Week debut in Balenciaga. Trump told off for trying to give King Charles a historic sword from a museum. LA's entertainment industry is in full collapse. This billionaire built a $50 million golf course so his wife had a place to swing like an idiot. October 6, 2025. Judge issues emergency ruling protecting Portland from other states' National Guard. Pritzker says Trump ordering Texas National Guard troops to Illinois and Oregon. Senator Kennedy lists millions in questionable spending Democrats want restored before reopening government. Pete Hegseth blasts woke DEI at Navy's 250th anniversary. Diversity is not your strength. DHS Secretary Noam slams NFL over Bad Bunny Super Bowl halftime pick. Vows ICE will show up and enforce the law. Democrat candidate caught wishing death upon political opponent. Forklift driver who won over $1 million off a scratch-off lottery ticket hospitalized after partying with his winnings. Britney Spears, knee snapped out after bad fall. At least it's back in now. More than half of U.S. hotels are owned by immigrants from one region and their families. A new film explores why. Kids in New York keep dying while subway surfing on top of trains. Can they be stopped? China is using AI to turn gay wedding scenes into straight wedding scenes. China marks largest Arctic foray with first man deep dive below polar ice. Brazen lies. Foreign ministry slams Thunberg's ludicrous claims after Gaza flotilla arrest. Greta Thunberg held in cell with bedbugs and made to kiss the Israeli flag. Why Gen Z protesters worldwide are flying an anime pirate flag. Trump tells Netanyahu, "You're always so effing negative." Trump is successfully bullying Netanyahu. October 7, 2025. She's just a troublemaker. Trump on Thunberg arrest in Israel. Trump says admin in talks with Democrats on health care. Newsom rages at Trump as FAA warns there will be no air traffic controllers at LA airport amid shutdown. Trump threatens use of Insurrection Act as governor says Blackhawks used in ICE raid. Chicago tells of escalating state violence, including a killing, as it challenges National Guard occupation. Illegal crossings at U.S.-Mexico border plummet to lowest annual level since 1970. Take him down. Feds say Chicago gang leader offered $10,000 on Snapchat to kill Border Patrol commander. Oregon says Portland DA drops charges against conservative influencer Nick Sorter after attack near ICE facility. Trump says he'll speak to DOJ about possible pardon for Ghislaine Maxwell. FBI. Jack Smith and Biden DOJ tracked phone calls of GOP senators and congressmen. Patel says that abuse of power ends now. As his FBI tenure goes from bad to worse, Kash Patel abandons the pretense of seriousness. Democrat Chicago mayor, the right wing wants a rematch of the Civil War. POTUS has declared war on the people of Chicago and people across America. It's time for soft secession. Irina's law, signed by North Carolina's governor, could allow state to resume executions by firing squad. The CDC says people must consult a health professional before COVID shot. Stephen Miller awkwardly forced to watch AOC call him 4'10". Is Taylor Swift's album really full of white supremacy and homophobia, or has everyone lost their minds? October 8th, 2025. The Hakeem Jeffries shutdown. Dem House leader rejects legislation to extend Obamacare subsidies for 1 year. Destroys argument Democrats not responsible for closing government. Schumer Link Group reportedly tells Democrats to gear up for long-term shutdown. Senate GOP confirms more than 100 Trump nominees. The White House floats no back pay for some furloughed federal workers despite a 2019 law. Trump tells Canadian PM the most important matter is the merger of Canada and the United States. Trump's threat to invoke Insurrection Act escalates showdown with Democratic cities. Portland leaders seek dialogue while Kristi Noem slams local electeds as pansies. Chicago mayor hoping his ice-free zones work better than his gun-free zones. AOC mocks MAGA masculinity with Stephen Miller quip and touches a nerve. Kamala Harris tells audience, "These MFs are crazy." Kash Patel says FBI agents fired over monitoring GOP senators. Trump says Blumenthal should no longer be allowed to speak after heated Bondi hearing. Declassified report shows Biden wanted to hide Kiev's concern over family's corrupt Ukrainian business ties. Unusual new side effects of drugs like Ozempic becoming increasingly common. West Coast 2 monster faults could trigger back-to-back earthquakes, new research suggests. India has a festival where a Hindu goddess slays a demon. This year, the demon is Trump. I feel safe here. Handsworth locals dismiss Jenrick's slum with no white faces slur. October 9th, 2025. First phase of ceasefire deal to end war in Gaza agreed by Israel and Hamas. Trump calls to jail Chicago mayor and Illinois governor in immigration dispute. National Guard position outside Chicago, Pelosi calls Trump deranged over jail threats. Fetterman is sole Democrat to vote against blocking Caribbean drug boat attacks. Kash Patel fires yet another group of FBI agents without cause, shutters corruption group. Former FBI boss pleads not guilty to Russiagate charges. Meltdown mode. Katie Porter explodes on staffer who steps into frame. Get out of my effing shot. A man in China lived more than 170 days after transplant with pig liver, doctors report. There's no vaccine for the common cold. This scientist says that won't be true for long. Florida man charged in deadly Pacific Palisades inferno. Disneyland visitor dies after riding haunted mansion attraction. Hegseth's hunt for Charlie Kirk's critics spans nearly 300 investigations. Kentucky sues Roblox video game over Charlie Kirk assassination simulators amid other child safety lawsuits. Big Brother contestants received formal warnings for anti-woke behavior, one removed from show. U.S. Embassy's Chinese social media accounts fall silent amid government shutdown. After Spain's blackout, critics blamed renewable energy. It's part of a bigger attack. UNC exploring potential Bill Belichick exit strategy as weird rumors surface. October 10th, 2025. Israeli officials outline hostage release process, confirm IDF to maintain control of 53% of Gaza following deal approval. U.S. sending about 200 troops to Israel to help support and monitor ceasefire deal in Gaza. The Peace President. World leaders, lawmakers, public figures call on Nobel Committee to award Trump the prize after Gaza deal. Zelensky dangles Nobel Prize nomination for Trump in exchange for tomahawks. Hitler brings peace to Israel. Letitia James says mortgage fraud indictment is weaponization of our justice system. Top Democrat sadistic attacks on husband emerge after deranged interview rampage and demeaning treatment of junior staffer. Dems, not Trump, pushing for civil war. Lincoln Project founder calls for Oregon or Illinois to arrest DHS Secretary Kristi Noem. Democrats may have just played the shutdown perfectly. Buying out. Republicans buys Dominion voting systems, forces them to drop lawsuits against conservatives. Joe Rogan trashes ICE Barbie's immigration stunts. Alarm bells. Top insurance companies' deep ties to communist China exposed in blistering attack. LAPD spokesperson resigns after U.S. attorney complains about alleged leaks, sources say. UT Chattanooga forced to overturn student government that tried to stop Turning Point from starting campus chapter. The gap narrows. Latest NYC mayoral race poll delivers bad news for Mamdani campaign. How the least talented Spice Girl managed to become the most successful member. How AMD's AI software helped it score the multi-billion-dollar OpenAI deal. October 11th, 2025. Putin suggests Trump should have received Nobel Peace Prize as winner dedicates award to U.S. president. Palestinians return to destroyed Gaza homes as Israel-Hamas ceasefire holds. Firing of federal workers begins as White House seeks to pressure Democrats in government shutdown. U.S. Democrats won't end shutdown unless planes fall out of the sky, says CNN. Bondi says San Diego man arrested for death threats against conservative commentator Benny Johnson. Family Matters star Darius McCrary under fugitive arrest near U.S.-Mexico border, held without bail on felony charge. 19 missing after deadly blast at Tennessee military explosives plant, sheriff says. Criminal charges against John Bolton expected as early as next week. House of Cards. New York AG Letitia James admitted Virginia home at center of bank fraud indictment was investment property, says ethics filings. Katie Porter allegedly called ex-husband effing idiot, dumped hot mashed potatoes on him. Trump to award Charlie Kirk the Medal of Freedom at ceremony. AstraZeneca makes a deal with the Trump administration to lower drug prices. Boston Children's Hospital could be illegally tricking insurers into covering sex changes, DOJ suggests. Disney is set to hire a white actress to star in its latest reboot after dumping DEI amid woke fury. The State Department isn't telling Congress whether U.S. weapons fall into the wrong hands. Chinese spies in UK can't be prosecuted because officials won't call China an enemy. Human Rights Watch declines donations from comedians who performed at Riyadh Comedy Festival. October 12th, 2025. Tomorrow, peace. Hamas to release all hostages. Trump set for greatest deal of all time. Trump to meet with Israeli hostages after their release by Hamas on Monday, says Vance. The pain from the government shutdown is about to hit the public. Over half of CDC staffers fired by Trump admin have been reinstated. CDC is over. RFK Jr. lays off over 1,000 employees in Friday night massacre. For the Trump administration, the enemy is everywhere. Trump falsely claims Biden FBI placed agents in January 6 crowd. Feds use tear gas and pepper balls on Portland ICE protest crowd. PDX spurns Noem video. Get caught up. This bee needs to die. Another lib caught wishing death upon a conservative in New Jersey school board race. Hidden players. Crowd for Hire CEO criticizes upcoming No Kings protest as ineffective and divisive. ABC host pulls plug on J.D. Vance interview mid-sentence. China warns propaganda staff classified units to stop leaks of state secrets. AI drones are America's newest cops. Joe Biden undergoing radiation and hormone treatment for cancer. Eye-popping pictures that prove Katy Perry and Justin Trudeau are a couple. Passionate kisses, roaming hands. After Orlando Bloom split, friends tell us exactly what's going on. To save his mom's life, this man donated his kidney to a stranger in a nationwide organ swap. Jamie Oliver can't return to his UK restaurant location after terrorism plot nightmare. October 13th, 2025. Israelis gather to welcome home the last living hostages from Gaza after 738 days in hell, as Trump flies into Tel Aviv to ensure Hamas peace deal holds. Donald Trump flies to Israel and states the war is over. Palestinian journalist Salah al-Jafari shot dead in Gaza City clashes. Your legacy is genocide. Kamala Harris's book tour continues getting derailed by hecklers accusing her of war crimes. Naked bike riders demonstrate against federal troops in quintessentially Portland protest. A conservative influencer was arrested in Portland. The president was watching. Anti-Trump opposition leans into mockery to get under his skin. Trump, 79, admits he might not get into heaven. Trump shifts funds to pay military service members despite government shutdown. CDC purge hits 600 workers in key offices despite reversals. Doug Ford's trade threats could backfire, U.S.-Canada business leader warns. Why Trump and the right want to take down billionaire George Soros. Mainstream media pumping illegal alien sob stories to discredit Trump crackdown. Don't fall for them. Iran suspends all cooperation with atomic energy watchdog. Scientists want you to know that your asthma inhaler is destroying the planet. 3 people mauled to death by bears in span of 1 week, including man who was decapitated. Taylor Swift makes NFL season debut. October 14th, 2025. Biden hails Trump's Gaza peace deal while attempting to take some credit as last 20 hostages are freed from unimaginable hell. Democrats who condemned Israel's Gaza war silent after ceasefire. Portland leader says Trump's portrayal of city is completely disconnected from the truth. Hegseth touts push to replace heavy-set National Guard troops in Illinois. J.D. Vance just cooked Tomahawk Liz on Columbus Day. Mitt Romney's sister-in-law dead after possible fall or jump from parking lot structure, authorities say. Crypto tycoon found dead with wound to his head inside Lamborghini. Alec and Stephen Baldwin plow their Range Rover into a tree and survive. Trump ribs Canadian Prime Minister after accidentally calling him president. At least I didn't say governor. Former Canadian Prime Minister mocked relentlessly after steamy session with Katy Perry. New York Times, AP, and Newsmax among news outlets who say they won't sign new Pentagon rules. Rare earth stocks go vertical after report Pentagon to go on $1 billion critical mineral buying spree. Silver hits all-time high as London squeeze sparks market havoc. A historic crypto sell-off erased over $19 billion, but 2 accounts made $160 million. Kids who use social media score lower at reading and memory tests, a study shows. Authors break down why Orwell's 1984 feels closer to real life than ever. Satanism. Russian lawmaker calls for Halloween ban. October 15th, 2025. Charlie Kirk posthumously awarded Presidential Medal of Freedom. State Department revokes visas of foreigners who celebrated Charlie Kirk murder. Wife of leading NYC mayoral candidate laments murder of Palestinian crisis actor by Palestinian gangs. NBC's Andrea Mitchell roasted for accrediting Biden for Gaza peace deal. Trump calls out Time magazine for choosing absolutely terrible cover photo despite publishing relatively good article on Hamas-Israeli peace deal. America First is becoming Trump First as the president eyes global power. U.S. Senate again rejects Republican plan to end government shutdown. If we ever had a leak of this chat, we'd be cooked. 7 months of shocking private messages among rising GOP leaders. Portland Antifa and leftist ICE protesters receive U-Haul full of supplies as Dem establishment claims Antifa is not an organization, does not exist. Zelensky strips prominent political opponents of citizenship. Trump threatens China cooking oil as payback for soy boycott. Housing market chaos as 1 in 7 buyers across the U.S. pull out of deals at the last minute in chilling echo of 2008 crash. Jason Kelce dragged into MAGA's Bad Bunny Super Bowl drama. Newly surfaced dashcam footage seems to contradict Alec Baldwin's claims after car crash. Doug Ford says he threatened Home Depot shoplifter with a beating. Cheryl Hines clarifies that husband RFK Jr.'s brainworm only ate a little bit of his brain before dying, so don't worry. Tommy Robinson terror verdict delayed because he is flying to Israel as guest. October 16th, 2025. Trump authorizes CIA operations in Venezuela, says mulling land attack. Trump considers overhaul of refugee system that would favor white people. Pro-Hamas hackers hijack loudspeakers across North America, spew anti-Trump and Netanyahu slurs, causing delays. Yikes. Swastika found in GOP congressman's office. Vance defends GOP youth Hitler chat. Is it cool to say, I love Hitler? The Republican Party is trying to decide. He tweeted Charlie Kirk won't be remembered as a hero. The State Department revoked his visa. Roads at risk. Trump admin withholds $40 million from California over trucker English proficiency rules. Journalists turn in access badges and exit Pentagon rather than agree to new reporting rules. Shut up. Pelosi lashes out at journalist outside U.S. Capitol. Ketanji Brown Jackson compares black Americans to disabled people while defending redistricting laws that give special treatment to blacks. Justice Kavanaugh insists on imposing a made-up time limit on the law and the Constitution. 15 Democrat governors launch Public Health Alliance directly opposing RFK Jr.'s HHS. CDC scientist Let Go says it's truly like an episode of Squid Games. Socialist NYC mayoral candidate Zohran Mamdani gives middle finger to Christopher Columbus statue, but what about the Muslim Democrats' connection to slavery? AI data centers desperate for electricity are building their own power plants. China's central bank sets yuan at highest rate against US dollar in a year. WNBA star debuts as Victoria's Secret Angel in 2025 show. October 17th, 2025. U.S. carries out drug boat strike in Caribbean as Admiral resigns. Ex-Trump National Security Advisor Bolton charged with storing and sharing classified information. It sure looks like Trump is about to weaponize the IRS. Republicans are setting a trap ahead of Saturday's No Kings rally. Losing argument. Democrats block legislation to pay troops during shutdown. Bernie AOC town hall goes awry as Democrats blamed for shutdown. Questioned over Schumer primary challenge. Very real possibility Trump will run for third term. J.B. Pritzker says Stephen Miller abusing the fact that Donald Trump has diminished capacity. U.S. shouldn't deplete Tomahawk arsenal for Ukraine, says Trump. Federal grand jury indicts 2 alleged Antifa members with terrorism charges for attack on ICE facility. Sanctuary City police officer who says he loves America left stunned as ICE arrests him after discovering he's an illegal migrant. Maine Senate candidate promoted violent action in since deleted online posts. Ace Frehley, founding guitarist with theatrical rock band Kiss, dies at 74. Trump Organization expands in India, where many of its partners face accusations. India to force drug makers to upgrade plants after fatal cough syrup crisis. You are the carbon they want to reduce. Sandwiches in the UK now come with a daily carbon allowance score. Bitcoin struggles to find momentum after historic wipeout. October 18th, 2025. No Kings organizers project a massive turnout for this weekend's protests. Leavitt responds to Jeffrey's insults, calling him an America Last stone-cold loser amid ongoing government shutdown. Trump is exploiting the shutdowns to set up something truly terrifying. The depths of MAGA's moral collapse. They're teachers, nurses, Mennonites, and Marines. The Trump administration calls them Antifa. Portland police defend use of informants at ICE protests. This is nothing new. Jack Smith's former right-hand man joins Comey's defense team. Trump admin cancels more than $11 billion in mostly blue state projects. S&P downgrades France's credit rating. DOJ arrests terrorists said to have participated in October 7th Hamas attack on Israel and fled to Louisiana after being granted visa by Biden admin. Indiana University fires student newspaper advisor who refused to block news stories. Dozens of stolen Prop 50 ballots found in homeless encampment in Sacramento. Don Lemon urges non-white Americans to buy guns to confront federal immigration agents. Billionaire apologizes for saying Trump should send National Guard to San Francisco. Trump sends in the Night Stalkers. Venezuela rallies millions of men as biggest U.S. deployment since 1980 sparks fear of war. Virginia Giuffre's family declares victory after Prince Andrew gives up titles. Good luck, George. Have a great life. Trump commutes sentence of Santos, denying Dick Blumenthal's stolen honor far worse than what George Santos did. October 19th, 2025. America turns out for no kings. Organizers count nearly 7 mil. Crowds swarm D.C. Trump hides in Florida. Snipers protecting No Kings rally triggered CNN reporter and crowd. Trump, 79, takes dump on protesters in bonkers AI video. Trolling paradise. Trump's Team's Blue Sky debut sets off outrage among users on left-leaning platform. Gavin Newsom loses his mind as Trump holds epic Marine Corps drill during California No Kings protest, putting us in harm's way. Leftist furries and crazies unite. Protesters spotted wearing frog, cat, dinosaur costumes at No Kings rallies. LOL, this is what democracy looks like. U.S. is reporting survivors of its strike on suspected drug vessel. The company you keep. Socialist Mamdani hits campaign trail at terror-linked Imam's Mosque. California creates Bureau for Descendants of American Slavery in lieu of reparations. Warner Brothers follows Paramount in refusing to boycott Israeli film industry. How 6'7" became the nonsense phrase plaguing U.S. schools. Lonely seniors are turning to AI bots for companionship. Girl, take your crazy pills. Antidepressants recast as a hot lifestyle accessory. Apples stuffed in strollers and half-eaten fruit tossed away. Local orchard farmer says rampant theft is killing our lifestyle. Limp Bizkit announces death of bassist Sam Rivers at 48. Today we lost our brother.
Playboy Cardi charged with assault for allegedly punching limo driver. No Kings protest against Trump draws 40,000 in Portland.
October 20th, 2025. Secret Service finds hunting stand with line of sight to Trump Air Force One in Florida. Trump required to board Air Force One using small stairs. Trump and Johnson are melting down over the success of No Kings. Trump shares AI video of himself bombing No Kings protesters with feces. We interviewed an anti-Trump inflatable frog. It made some great points. Federal agency overseeing U.S. nuclear stockpile will furlough most of its workers starting Monday. Biden's former mouthpiece, Karine Jean-Pierre, reveals how he left her enraged and heartbroken as she turns on Democrats. Trump calls Colombia's president an illegal drug dealer, orders end to U.S. aid. Rubio promised to betray informants to get Trump's prison deal with El Salvador. Louvre Museum heist, jewels with inestimable value stolen from Napoleon collection. A cargo aircraft skids off a Hong Kong runway into the sea, killing 2 airport workers. Disney's Jimmy Kimmel Live hosts drag queen grooming time. Trixie Mattel reads Eric Trump's memoir to children, throws book in wood chipper. Shrapnel fell on a CHP vehicle during U.S. military live-fire exercise over I-5, agency says. RFK Jr. and wife Cheryl Hines applauded online after being spotted in economy class on commercial flight. California driver pulled over for driving with hand-drawn license plate. For Hooters' original founders, saving the chain is a higher calling. America needs us. Former Buccaneers running back Doug Martin dead at 36. October 21st, 2025. Democrats block bill to end government shutdown for 11th time. Newsom warns Californians SNAP benefits could be delayed because of federal shutdown. Appeals court sides with Trump on troop deployment to Portland ICE building. Just the beginning, Trump's deportation machine to shatter records as thousands of illegals sent packing. Amazon says all cloud services restored after 15-hour outage. Thune urges Trump to drop nominee over alleged racist remarks in leaked chat. The strain of pro-slavery sentiment coursing through the far-right movement. Married congressman had alleged affair with aide before she set herself on fire. Bombshell revelation as police block release of 911 call and other evidence. Campbell's Soup sues Michigan Democrat for using their can design in campaign. Vance travels to Israel to strengthen fragile ceasefire amid ongoing tensions. Who are the Pink Panther gang, and are they behind the Louvre robbery? How Hong Kong pair landed in Myanmar scam farm, living a life worse than death. Zelensky aide advises Ukrainians to meditate amid blackouts. Broncos linebacker suspended for threatening referee after thrilling win over Giants. Police issue warning ahead of Halloween after families find needles in candy handed to children. Japan updates, Sanai Takichi elected as Japan's first female prime minister. Supreme Court will decide whether drug users can possess guns. October 22nd, 2025. Democrats call on disengaged Trump to get involved to end shutdown. Trump is said to demand Justice Department pay him $230 million for past cases. Hegseth says Pentagon staff now needs approval to interact with Congress. White House construction crew finds 1,357 more cocaine stashes.
White House slams TMZ's fake news report claiming that Trump is considering pardon for Diddy this week. Trump nominee to lead whistleblower office drops out after racist texts surface. Democrat running for U.S. Senate has literal Nazi tattoo on his chest. Trans Americans threaten to leave country. Trump voters say, "I voted for this." Why so many black Americans felt no obligation to chant "No Kings." China accuses Australia of covering up South China Sea airspace incursion. Colombia's Petro sees Trump-backed ex-president's acquittal as path to U.S. sanctions. China ramps up war on Christians. Mass arrests. Oregon's likely set for harvesting. Hakeem Jeffries says public pressure will force Congress to extend ACA subsidies. TikTok won't say if it's giving ICE your data. Riot erupts in Dublin after asylum seeker accused of raping 10-year-old girl. Luigi Mangione's violent night with 7 Thai ladyboys during mysterious disappearance months before healthcare CEO's murder. Amid Jimmy Kimmel suspension, Disney Plus cancellations doubled.
October 23, 2025. White House plans to demolish entire East Wing as ballroom cost hits $300 million. AI workers are putting in 100-hour work weeks to win the new tech arms race. DNC pays another $1.6 million towards Kamala Harris's unprecedented campaign debt. Trump's cognitive collapse is clear, says psychologist. Meeting with Putin canceled, says Trump. U.S. imposes sanctions on Russian oil over Putin's refusal to end war in Ukraine. Right-wing outlets converge on Pentagon. The U.S. isn't even bothering with its usual lies to sell its regime change war in Venezuela. A death train is haunting South Florida. Democrats launching master ICE tracker to help maniac leftists hunt down federal officers and illegal aliens dodge deportation. Intoxicated driver for Sikh trucking company kills 3 people on California highway. Malibu residents flee as international buyers snap up burned out lots. A dividing line. Democrats are being torn apart by shitposting Senate candidate. Unreal moment TV star learns wife had taken out hit on him while filming show after cops uncovered her messages with a prisoner. A man with a gun walked into a Wikipedia conference. Volunteers took him down, but the danger isn't over. Does the Earth now actually have 2 moons? Iceland reports the presence of mosquitoes for the first time as climate warms.
October 24th, 2025. Trump abruptly terminates all trade negotiations with Canada over fake Ronald Reagan attack ad he claims was designed to sabotage the U.S. in furious late-night post. Dramatic satellite photo shows East Wing demolition. To help ease liberal panic about White House construction, Carolyn Leavitt reminds them that history exists. Trump to meet Xi in South Korea next Thursday as part of key Asia trip. Trump defends extrajudicial killings. They're gonna be, dead. Arctic frost exposed. Biden DOJ chiefs personally sign off on Trump investigation in bombshell memo. Hilarious. Rogan suggests Trump run for California governor after second presidential term. Leavitt slams Democrats as shutdown jeopardizes SNAP benefits for millions. Texas Democrat says she's going to wipe out every Republican and slash their necks. New Jersey Dem says, I wish wiping out ICE was as easy as removing an invasive species. Lakers unofficial coach allegedly traded info on LeBron James injury in NBA gambling scandal. Game theory. How mafiosos and NBA stars rigged card shufflers, x-ray tables, and secret contact lenses in multi-million-dollar poker scam. WNBA players assure FBI they weren't missing layups to throw games. They just suck at basketball. They've never been arrested. Why does the FBI list thousands of service members as likely criminals? Prince Andrew's coat of arms removed from Windsor Castle in royal humiliation. Filmmaker Guillermo del Toro says, "I'd rather die than use generative AI." Begonia is going to be nominated for all the Oscars. I hated it. October 25th, 2025. Trump friend gives $130 million to pay troops after Democrats block pay extension. Civilian employees at several federal agencies miss their first full paycheck. Thailand mourns as beloved Queen Mother Sirikit dies at 93. Blue Jays to start World Series with 7-run deficit as Trump imposes tariff on foreign teams. Pentagon deploys top aircraft carrier as Trump militarization of Caribbean ratchets up. Trump is rewriting history to justify his sketchy pardon of a crypto king. Newsom says Trump plans to use monitors to claim redistricting vote is rigged. Time photo secretly subverts Trump cover with Nazi reference. Take my lunch away. Legendary broadcaster implies mid-broadcast NFL came after him for exposing alleged cover-up. Evidence of non-human intelligence activity near U.S. nuclear site gains scientific validation. How Travis Kelce wound up on a wild ride to save Six Flags. Transportation Secretary Duffy slams California for issuing CDL to illegal alien before fatal crash. Newsom didn't follow guidance. Now 3 people are dead. Fumbled. Prosecutor who opposed charging Letitia James was fired for allegedly mishandling case information. Migrant who sexually assaulted child and sparked UK riots mistakenly released from prison. Switzerland jails man for transphobic comment that biological sex can be determined by skeletal remains. Oregon schools serve dozens of middle schoolers pretzels contaminated with oven cleaner. 3 deaths reported at Disney World over the last 10 days. October 26, 2025. Emir of Qatar joins Trump on Air Force One during trip to Asia. Trump, 79, busts out wild dance moves after 24-hour flight. Trump heads ASEAN Summit, Thailand, Cambodia to sign ceasefire deal. Oh, Canada. Trump raises Canadian tariffs 10% after fraudulent Ronald Reagan ad airs during World Series. Scandal as Blue Jays test positive for performance-enhancing maple syrup. Katy Perry and Justin Trudeau make their first appearance as a couple to celebrate the singer's birthday in Paris. Psychotherapist explains why No Kings rallies consisted of mostly educated white women. Steve Bannon and the plan for a never-ending age of Trump. These judges are warning us we're on the fast track to martial law. Oldest member of the House, member of Congress reported in early stages of dementia, scammed by suspects masquerading as home cleaning crew. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson asked reporter if the word illegal alien is sci-fi term. Spanberger campaign organizer laughs at Charlie Kirk's death while saying the campaign denounces political violence. Nazi sympathizer in Gestapo uniform smashes woman with beer stein on video. Duffy threatens to strip California of ability to issue commercial driver's licenses. CIA tried to recruit Winston Churchill. First came the Louvre heist, then came the memes. China's Pokemon craze is stirring an anti-foreigner backlash in Japan.
October 27, 2025. Navy helicopter and fighter jet both go down in South China Sea, says Navy. Rubio deports suspected Muslim Brotherhood leader. CARE says our nation must stop abducting critics of the Israeli government. Kamala Harris comes out swinging against thin-skinned tyrant Donald Trump. Rep. Eric Swalwell demands 2028 Democratic presidential candidates to pledge to destroy Trump's ballroom. Shutdown showdown. Jake Tapper point-blank asked Democrat senator if he's willing to let Americans go hungry over Obamacare subsidies. Donald Trump got mad at the TV, so now stuff costs more. Trump issues blistering new Tylenol warning as he explodes in all caps over linking everyday drug to autism. Stupor soldier. Trump derangement syndrome has morphed into something far more lethal. Milei wins mandate for free market revolution in Argentina's election. Venezuela condemns military provocation by CIA in Trinidad and Tobago. New federal task forces launched to fight foreign gangs and cartels in the U.S. U.S. Secret Service seized 22 EBT skimmers in Baltimore, stopped $22 million in fraud. Adrian Peterson arrested for DWI and unlawful possession of a weapon in Texas. Beyond reach, why America's Golden Dome may be powerless against Russia's doomsday missile. Louvre heist update, 2 arrested after daring theft of historic jewelry. Japan hits 10 deaths from bear maulings this year as attacks skyrocket across the country. California euthanizes 4 gray wolves after unprecedented surge in livestock kills.
October 28, 2025. Humanity has missed the 1.5 degrees Celsius climate target, says UN head. Jamaica cowers as Category 5 Melissa bears down, supercharged by warming seas. D.C. area Dems scoff at federal workers' unions' call to end shutdown. Ice Barbie deports Trump fanatic Cuban immigrant to Africa. A surprising number of former football stars are trading their helmets for MAGA hats. MSNBC's Nicole Wallace claims no Democrats have implied Trump is Hitler. Cue the tape. UC Berkeley course blames racial superiority for Trump's immigration policy. Report says left-leaning political group warns Democratic Party that its agenda is too extreme for most voters. Mamdani admits inaccuracy in post 9/11 story about aunt scared to wear hijab. U.S. and Japan sign critical minerals deal. Trump's big beautiful ballroom is a gift for America in the best traditions of his predecessors. The Pentagon's preferred propaganda model. Leading Chinese AI researcher Liu Haolin dies at 37 after brief illness. Amazon to lay off up to 30,000 corporate workers. Lithuania to shoot down helium balloons smuggling thousands of cigarettes. AI gun detection error leads to armed police detaining Baltimore teen over Doritos bag. Shaq had a Land Rover custom fit to his 7-foot frame. It vanished, and there's a $10,000 reward.
October 29th, 2025. Trump says he will speak with China's Xi about fentanyl. Trump's Yemen strike killed 61 immigrants and no combatants. Trump fires entire agency reviewing his tacky D.C. makeover. 4 ways federal shutdown pain will spread to millions more Americans. The GOP's approval rating is doing surprisingly well during the government shutdown. Pentagon removes key protections for civilian workers, moves to fire with speed and conviction. Behind the curtain. House Judiciary says FBI's Arctic Frost probe potentially targeted over 150 Republicans. With Mamdani on rise, left begins rewriting American history to elevate Muslims. Holy hypocrite. California governor invokes Bible to slam Washington as White House fires back. California Medicaid provider pays parents hundreds of dollars to vaccinate their kids. Feds officials and teachers donated to Jay Jones after text scandal. Obama furious at Pelosi over Kamala endorsement. What the fuck did you just do? J.P. Morgan's dystopian new headquarters costing $3 billion, brutally mocked online. This is the stuff of horror movies. World War I soldier's message in a bottle found on Australian beach more than 100 years later. Truck hauling herpes-ridden monkeys crashes. One is missing. The Empire of Irony. Why memes are America's new propaganda. President for life. October 30th, 2025. Trump announces U.S. will resume nuclear weapons testing after China became defiant on denuclearization. Trump purposefully halting SNAP benefits, weaponizing hunger, Democrats allege. Check out the EBT of TikTok account that's sharing videos of people threatening to burn the country down over food stamps. Paramount lays off 1,000 workers in first round of cuts. Ex-cop who killed Sonia Massey over boiling water found guilty of murder. Father and son arrested for attempting to smuggle over 300 firearms to Mexico. Aide to Dem governor busted after allegedly having 8 kilos of cocaine sent to state office building. Feds say Kat Abu Ghazala impeded ICE agents. That would put her on the right side of history. National Guard troops were at Portland ICE building despite court ban, feds admit. DHS calls for defending American culture. That leaves some Latinos rattled. Federal prosecutors suspended for not using MAGA-approved verbiage to describe January 6th. Jack Smith sought 197 subpoenas in Arctic frost investigation. Paris prosecutor says authorities still haven't found jewels stolen from Louvre despite 2 suspects admitting partial guilt. Democrat-run dystopia stinks to new low as drains and waterways overflow with raw polluted sewage. Latin America is China's laboratory and Washington's backyard. Undergarment upgrades bring many Mormon women comfort and joy. Trump is weaponizing vulgarity to alter Americans' sense of reality. October 31st, 2025. Trick or Trump. Prez greets hundreds of trick-or-treaters at White House Halloween event with kids dressed as first couple and McDonald's drive-thru. Trump goes back to the future with China deal. Xi happily drops all tariffs after Trump shows him how to use chopsticks to become a walrus. The world's youngest self-made billionaires are a trio of 22-year-old AI founders. That's how a child behaves. J.D. Vance explains why Republicans aren't just going to give Democrats the continuing resolution of their choice. SNAP benefits update. New York declares state of emergency over funding shortfall. Top Trump officials are moving on to military bases. FBI official connected to Trump 2020 election investigation being pushed out, sources say. Harris says Biden didn't want to debate Trump and had to be talked into it. This is bullshit. Chris Cuomo scolds left-wing influencer for saying Americans should get guns to use against ICE. I went to the spot where Charlie Kirk was killed. It was a haunting vision of what's coming. Belgian defense minister clarifies wipe Moscow off the map comment. Senate Judiciary Committee investigates Gates, Rockefeller, and Ford foundations for communist Chinese military financial links. U.S. Senator Ted Cruz calls for impeachment of federal judge who ordered Arctic frost gag order. Rust gun supplier sues Alec Baldwin, says he's been the scapegoat for Helena Hutchins' death. Andrew is now a commoner after being stripped of all his titles. ESPN and Disney channels blacked out on YouTube TV in contract dispute.